It's the grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light Little Vlog. We've been talking about pride recently and how Abba's dealing with everyone's pride, bringing their pride down to the dust, trampling their pride under his feet, because pride is an enemy of God. God is love. Pride is an enemy of love. Isn't it, little flock? The things that are enemies to God, you must understand, are enemies of love. They are the things that are hindering you from being a loving being. That's an enemy to God. You understand that, little flock? The commandment is that you love. So anything that's hindering you from loving would be considered an enemy. And the big enemy in the room, or as we like to say, the elephant in the room, needs to be dealt with. Or you're just going to go along in your pride and be deceived. If you don't deal with the elephant in the room, that is. And what is the elephant in the room? It's you. You're the elephant in the room. When Abba addresses you, he's going to do like your father would do to you if you were at school. What am I saying? If you were at school among all of your peers and the other classmates, and they were all cutting up, all of y'all were, not only the classmates, but you as well. Y'all were all having a good time, being unruly. And in the midst of this unruly behavior, your parent happens to walk in to the auditorium or cafeteria or whatever classroom you guys are doing all of this madness in. Your parent happens to walk in. What are they going to say? Are they going to talk to the whole classroom? Or are they going to call you out of the classroom? Are they going to pull you out of the bunch? What they going to do, little flock? What would your parent have done? I'll tell you exactly what my parents would have did. Because it has happened to me in my life. They're going to pull you out the bunch and address you. And they're going to say, what do you think you're doing? And you're going to say, everybody was. Everybody. Well, they were. He did this and then she did that and then. But you notice the question that your parent asked you? What was it? What do you think you doing? Not what is Tommy doing, what is little Sandra done did, not what is Carl over there doing. I could care less because they're not mine. You see, when God be like, other nations are a drop of a bucket unto me, you see, the other children are not even recognized by you when you walk in as the parent. You see your child, just like Abba said. See how the other kids are like spittle unto you? In other words, of lesser value than your child is. It's just the way that it is, little flock. Isn't it? So you see your child and you say, what do you think you're doing? And your child starts to immediately blame someone else. Why? Because they believe that this will keep them from the judgment that is due. So then that principle never changes. You see it when you read the Bible and you read about Adam and Eve when they tore their britches. Or in other words, they did something they had no business doing, right? And when they did that, Abba said, what do you think you doing? And what did they start saying? That serpent beguiled me. That other classmate tricked me, Dad. That's why I was jumping up and down on the teacher's desk, throwing paper across and spitting wads out of a straw and all of that. My classmate deceived me. Hey, man, what about you? What do you think you doing? That woman that you gave me. See, it was those classmates you put me around. If you hadn't put me around those classmates, I wouldn't have been jumping around and stuff. So it's your fault for putting me around those classmates. Do you see how the carnal nature is that you got? I got to add that on because people like to go, yeah, I see the carnal nature, as if they don't have it themselves. This is for the real ones. The School of Marvelous Light is called that because it exposes everybody who comes to it. And there's no need to be afraid of it. You should want to come to it. But I understand, according to the scriptures, that those who don't come to it, they don't come because they don't want to be exposed for what they really is. Well, that's a shame. That's a shame. But for those who want to come to the School of Marvelous Light, you must know that you're going to be exposed for what you are, and that's okay, because everybody that come here is filthy when they come. So it ain't no need in acting like we ain't. That's what I be saying to you. See? I'm going to make sure that you understand that it ain't no need in putting on no front. You didn't tore your britches. Everybody has. So why do we try to act like the tear in my britches isn't as big as the tear in yours? What difference does it make? You still got dirty, stinking, greasy drawers with a hole in it. So why don't you get some new garments? See, the servant here at the School of Marvelous Light, that's what happened to him. That's why I'm telling y'all this. I had on filthy garments, like I just described, dirty, stinking, greasy. That's the way I say filthy. Dirty, stinking, greasy with a hole in it. That's the kind of garments I had on. It's right there in the Bible. But then Abba came and he rebuked Satan up off me, who was trying to accuse me because I was living in iniquity, but I did it ignorantly. See, just like Saul said. So Abba gave me grace and transformed me and gave me a change of apparel. And it's right there in the Bible. So that's what I'm describing to you. So then don't act like you don't have filthy, stinking, greasy drawers on. All people do. Everybody do. Why everybody got a washer in their house? Because they got to wash stinking, greasy, hold up clothes. That's why they got a washer in their house, y'all. They got to wash their dirty clothes when they wear them to get dirty. How come it don't get dirty until you wear it, till you put it on? The clothes was perfectly fine on the shelf, perfectly clean and smelling good like Downy. But as soon as you put them damn things up on your dirty, stinking, greasy ass, they got soiled, didn't they? You be like, yeah, look at the neck around that white collar. Look at it. Look at the inside of those underwear. Go ahead and take a gander in there. See, this is what makes people uncomfortable to talk about that kind of stuff. But it's the reality. Why leave that out? Because it makes people, let's see the word they like to use, become offended. It is an offense. Well, did you understand that sometimes you're going to have to do things and say things that seem to be an offense so that you can break people's false sense of pride that they have? People that are living in pride are offended at everything. Don't you know that? They consider themselves to be higher and above everything that's negative. Shit. I'm clean. Can't you see that I am? Who are you trying to show that you are? Man? Well, if man thinks you're clean, what good does that do? I'm waiting for somebody to bring forth an argument of validity when I ask that question. What does it do for you if men think that you're good, or men think you're clean, or men think you're of high value? What does that profit a person? I need somebody to break down how it actually profits a person, if that's the case. Can you? Then if it isn't profitable, then why do you do it? Why do you care when you walk into a room what someone else thinks of you? Why? Why are you so self-conscious if their judgment isn't worth a cracker? That shit ain't worth a saltine. So then why even give it any credence? It's because you don't know how to judge correctly. You see, you have to have a transformation and a renewal of your mind. Isn't that what it says? See, that word renew, it's like people don't actually know what that means. It's like they think that means you had a mind and then it kind of like grew old or something, or it wore out from use. And so he's just going to make it back exactly the way that it was and in its pristine state. No, it means you're going to get a new, different one. Let this mind be in you that it was in Christ. So you need to have a transplant. So you're not going to have the same mind that you had. So what you once thought concerning the things of life will change. When you're born again, what do you guys think? It stays the same? Then why must you be born again then? If you're going to stay the same. See, I'm slicing up and dicing up stupidity. What do you guys do all day? You guys cannot listen to the grandson and then go listen to any other preacher. You just can't, because you're going to be lacking. You're going to be like, there's stuff that he said that this person doesn't even talk about. There are things he talks about that go on inside of me that this person never even brings up. Why do you think that is? Maybe they're not born again. The world hears its own. So if you see people clamoring after a so-called person of God, it's probably because the world hears its own. It is a preacher of the world, which means obviously a preacher of vanities. Because when Abba sends a prophet or a servant, their name has to do with what they're going to say and what they are. Can't you guys understand that? I've said it so many times. So when Abba sends the grandson, do you know what that means? Why am I here talking to you guys? Why do I look the way that I look, sound the way that I sound? Because when you know what I'm about to tell you, then it makes perfect sense. It's all going to click. You're going to say, no wonder he's like that. No wonder he looks like that. No wonder he dresses like that. No wonder his personality is the way that it is. Once you understand, what does the grandson mean when Abba sends him? Well, you have to know the name of the grandson of God. And what's his name? His name is Abel, like I've told you. Now that means vanity. Idol, I-D-O-L, like idol worship, vanity worship. That's what his name means. So when he comes as a servant, he is coming during the time of people living in vanity insanity. That's my word, vanity insanity. I made a song called Vanity Insanity. Why I'm the one doing that? I told you why. The grandson is the one who comes to tell the world their vainness. He's the one to tell them what's a proper sacrifice. Because the grandson's sacrifice was accepted by God. Abel, can you guys follow what I'm saying here? Or do I need to slow down a little bit, pump the brakes some, or can I keep on driving? Because I ain't going over the speed limit. I'm within regulation. I'm just going kind of fast, that's all. But can you follow with me? So Abel's sacrifice was accepted. Cain was rejected. The other grandson is about vanity. He's about acquiring and getting of the world, mammon, vanity, material things. That's the other grandson. So do you see the two? You have a choice. You have a sacrifice. Now, which one does it sound like I hate? Cain's sacrifice or Abel's? Which one? Which one am I always telling you guys that you're wasting your time chasing after? See how it connects like Legos? I mean, isn't everything that I say connected like a Lego? All right then. All right then. So Christ said, I make all things new. Here we go again with this new stuff. So when he calls you out, he creates a new creature in you. You're not going to be the same. You're not going to consider the same things because you don't have the same mind you used to have. See? So when you go back to the world and you preach to them, they're going to be in the old world, considering things of the old mind, thinking with the old mind, which is death. Can't you see it? So they're judging you wrong as hell. They cannot understand righteous judgment because they don't have the mind of Christ. See? And the only way you can have his mind is you must be born again, or you'll be like Nicodemus. You'll still be in the old mind. And what did Christ say? If you don't understand carnal things, how can you understand heavenly? Why did he use those two examples, heavenly and carnal? Why? Because I just told you why. There are people who are still stuck in the carnal mind. They have not been born again. You see it? So what did I tell you guys? That it's a trick that you can use to see if somebody's been born again. Do they judge the way the world judges? If they do, they're not born again. That damn simple. So if what they say about things are bad matches the world, then they're flipped upside down in their sin, still remaining in it, tricked and deceived. thinking if I don't do that, I'm good. I used to smoke cigarettes. Now I've stopped smoking cigarettes. Now God finally loves me. Now I'm acceptable unto God. Is that what you think? Well, then you're still stuck in the carnal mind that's telling you that. That's telling you by the work of your hand, you can acquire God's love. Are you serious? Since when does a baby earn the love of their mom and dad? What's wrong with you guys? Is that the way you were raised? And if you were, did you think it was right? I bet you wouldn't if you were raised that way, with a work-based love. I don't think you'd enjoy living in a household that was ran that way. But if you were just loved because I am, or because I exist, that's why I'm loved, then that would be enough for you, wouldn't it? That's what Yahusha came to reveal to you all. That you can be loved without doing anything because you are. That's the truth. And that truth sets you free from this nigga antagonizing you and accusing you, the carnal mind. Yeah, you smoked a cigarette. Yeah, you've relapsed. You're hated by God again. You're no good. You're filthy. You're a sinner. That's the accuser saying that to you. And yet you have his children running on the earth doing the same thing. Hey, you were sipping out of that Jack Daniels bottle. Hey, the Bible says, be of a sober mind. It says, don't be partaking of strong drink. Look at you, you sinner. Sound just like the Pharisees to me, who judge by outward appearance. Nigga, I could have just been trying to relieve my stress to take a shot. And because you saw me take a shot of the Jack Daniels, you assume I'm going to drink the whole fifth. What makes your wicked ass mind run to that conclusion? Why don't you have compassion and mercy and love? Why don't you explore and have knowledge before you judge a thing and say, brother, what you going through today? Maybe he went through some hard. And maybe if he had a kind word and compassion and mercy spoken to him, he wouldn't feel like he had to turn to no damn bottle for relief, because a brother's relief should be found in the bosom of his brother. That's what he's there for. That's why the Bible says it's better for two than for one, because at least two can keep each other warm on a cold ass night. They can bundle up together and keep each other warm if they care for one another and consider each other as if they're them. But you got these Pharisees who walk around following people around, looking at outward appearance to say whether somebody's righteous. You fool. You fool to do that. You have not discerned the scriptures yet, that is not what God's looking at when he looks at a man, and that's what the fools were doing that thought they were serving God. You look like a whited sepulcher. Can you discern what that means? Because a lot of people just keep going along in that same mind frame. Oh, yeah. Look at those Pharisees Yahusha had to fight against. Yeah. Hey, it's the Sabbath day. What are you doing that on the Sabbath, man? Look at you breaking God's commandments, you damn heathen. It's interesting that the insults always have to come when you assume somebody's breaking the commandment, and they're not. You just assume that they are. People who are led by feelings are extremely pathetic individuals. I'll tell you that right now, because the feelings will make something that isn't even true become true to a person. Do you understand how dangerous of a place that is to be in? That's like walking into a room believing it's safe to walk in there, but meanwhile, it's a trap room specifically designed for your dumbass to walk in so that it can devour you. And you walk right in there. That's how stupid it is to judge wrong judgment. You walk right into a church with the wolf up there with a fucking hat on his head and a crosser hanging around his neck, but he speaks in a way that appeals to you. And your judgment is, good people don't cuss. Good people speak soft tone of voice like this. And good people, and since that's what you believe when you walked in, that's what that nigga's going to display before you, because he can disguise his intent of his heart by the tone of his voice and the words that he decides to use. And if he does that, then you'll just accept it because it's smooth. It's not even offensive. It's nothing jarring to me when he speaks. It's actually soothing. And then you read right there in the Bible that the people wanted the prophets to speak in the same damn way. Soothing, smooth, tickling speech. And you see it right there. And it's like you don't even see it and see it in the world and go, yeah, I see it happening. People want you to talk a certain way to them to prove you're righteous. Fuck proving to people you're righteous. What profit is there to do it? Can you tell me what it is? I'm listening. What do you get if every man says you're righteous? What do you get in the end of your life? Does God judge you based off of other people's opinions of you? Y'all don't understand how manicured everybody is because of that thing I'm describing to you. They care about what people think. It's just that simple. And God said that shouldn't be what you care about that people think. He says it right in his word. Let it not be the braiding of the hair. Now let me see here, guys. If I'm tripping, we're going to just go over this scripture real quick and let you just do some simple homework. The things that Abba is describing, that he says don't pay no attention to, let it be secondary, in other words. Are they outward things? Well, let's go through and let's just see. The braiding of the hair. Is your hair on the outside of your head or on the inside? So is your hair more important than what's on the inside of your head? No. But don't people act like what's on the outside of their head is more important than what's on the inside? Don't they? I'm slicing and dicing them. Because all I got to do is walk up to some random woman right now and grab her hair. I bet you it should have come right off her head. Snatch. Why you put that up on there? I don't want people to see me like this. To see you in your truth. See how they don't come to the light? It's so simple. It's so easy to do it to people. You just pull their shame out. This is what you're ashamed of. Well, I don't want people to see me like that. When you stop and think about the value of people's judgment, then maybe you'll start being yourself and stop being so scared to present yourself in truth. But they may not think I'm attractive, so let me paint my face first like Bozo the Clown on Sunday. Looking like it, the damn Pennywise clown coming out the sewer. I swear, women don't understand that men don't like that yet. But yet they do it so that men will go, ooh, hubba, 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 hubba. These thirsty ass niggas. What are you talking about? Stop trying to disguise the intent of your heart. Your heart is exposed before God. You want attention. You're an attention whore. You want attention from anybody. You don't give a damn who it is. But as soon as you get the attention, you act on the outside as if it means nothing to you. If it meant nothing to you, then you wouldn't give a fuck when you walked outside. You straight wouldn't care. But since you take 6 or 7 hours before you go outside, then it proves who you care judges you. It proves it. God said, don't let it be a costly apparel. What do women spend all their money on? Men too. I don't give a damn. People. What they spend their money on? Looking nice ass expensive clothes. How come they don't just buy clothes that just fit them, look right, and they can wear? They got to buy expensive name brand shit. Why? Because people going to see it. It's that simple. None of you guys can deny this, can you? So do you see why I'm not wearing the name brand shit? Do you see why I'm wearing the same old nameless plain garment? Isn't it obvious why? See how I'm not a hypocrite faking what I'm actually telling you guys about what you should do? I'm a living example of it as well. Humility, guys. Is this humble? Is the way I present myself before you humble, or am I extravagantly dressed in extravagant apparel? What would you say? So he said, don't let it be the braiding of your hair that make people say, ooh. What do they do at the Met Gala? What do they do at the Oscars? What do they do at the Academy Award? What do they do at the Grammys? What do they do at the club? What do they do at prom? What do they do at homecoming? What do they do at their weddings? What do they do at spring break? Everywhere they go, everything they do is to be seen of men. And that's what Yahusha said, and that's what you see people do. Nigga working out in the gym hard as hell during the wintertime. You're like, what you doing all that working out for? Man, spring break's coming, brother. I'm going down to Miami. I gotta be looking good as hell. Why? So those fucking girls will be all on my shit, man. And that's truly what he's doing it for. I want the women to be all on me. All right. What profit will it do you in the day of judgment? Abba, I worked out so hard and made this body you gave me look so good so that all the women lusted after me. And I fulfilled my lust upon those women as well. So didn't I do great with what you gave me, God? Do y'all hear this message? You may laugh. You may shake your head up and down and say, yep, that's done. That's what I see in the world. That's what's going on in the world. What do you think Babylon is about, guys? Babylon is about a woman with a cup in her hand that says, I'm the queen. I run every damn thing. So all you got to do is take a spiritual nugget and just throw it in your mouth and chew it. Dip it in some barbecue sauce and throw it on in your mouth and swallow it. And then you'll get the understanding that that woman represents arrogancy and pride. So this nation is represented by its arrogance. Its attitude of, I can't be brought down. I won't suffer anything bad because I run shit. I get everybody drunk serving idle bullshit like me. Look, drink more of my cup, nations. Get more drunk and deceived with vanity, with pride and vainglory. Vainglory is pride. So, vain. Don't take my name in vain. Vain. I am is his name. So don't take who you are, your being, in vain. What is vainglory? Pride. So don't take who you are in pride because you have no room to. You're dirty. You dirty. But men think I'm clean. So? So? The doesn't that mean something? I'm gonna ask you, does it? So like I said, little flock, you have to face the fact that it's you that brought these negative things that came upon you in your life. You got to face that, Adam and Eve. Your thoughts and your feelings. What happened was, let me take y'all back to the beginning so y'all know I ain't screwing around. You'll see it and you'll say, wow, grandson, you're just right once again. I told you the man is thoughts, the woman is feelings. Now let's see here. When you were living your life, you looked at something or you saw something, like it said with Eve. She saw it. Well, you saw something. That's you. Eve, that's seeing it in the Bible, is your feelings. They react to what you see. So when you saw something, you reacted and you thought it would make you wise or you get some type of feeling that you've been looking for or some type of exhilarating experience, you see? And you ate it. You partook of it when you were feeling that feeling as though it was so. You were partaking of it, you see? And your thoughts knew better, but went on along with those feelings. So that means, like, if you were about to commit adultery, your mind says, you know, I shouldn't be doing this shit. But your body's like, I want that shit so bad. See how simple it is? So then you did it. And then what happened when you did it? You died. Didn't you? Which means now you know what guilt is. Now you know what shame is. Now you're running for your life from some unforeseen death that you can't understand why you feel this way. The terror of the night and the stressing and somebody's going to get me. And where is all these thoughts coming from now? It's coming from sin, error in thought. That's what it is. And whose thoughts were they? Yours. So then why do you act like it's somebody else's fault that you're paranoid? It's someone else's fault you're ashamed. It's someone else's fault when they tell you what you did in truth. It's their fault for telling it to you and making you feel offended, even though you're offended at your own actions. That's what you're mad about. See what I'm saying? How many people can face that? Because if you don't face it, then your ass is going to hell. You're going to stay in a state of gnashing of teeth and weeping. Yep, sorrow, sadness, regret, shame, everlasting contempt, the Bible calls it. But those who confessed, what does the Bible mean when it says confess your faults? If you're not going to have any faults, guys, you're not going to do anything wrong. Why does the Bible say confess your faults? That you may be healed thereby. Somebody can pray for you when you confess them. See, the thing is, you have to be brave to do it. That's the separation of the wheat and the tares. The ones who have come forward publicly and have confessed their sin, and I have witnessed it myself. Shout out to a brother of mine named Brother CJ. I'm not going to say what he said, Brother Carlton, but he confessed the sin to me, and he said, brother, can you pray for me that I'll overcome this thing? And when he did that to me, I overwhelmingly and rejoiced while praying for the brother, because I was saying, Abba, what a humble man. What a humble gesture. He literally didn't even sugarcoat the sin. He said, this thing here, this damn thing has been stealing from me. It has been a thorn in my side in my life. Brother, help me to relieve this by praying for me. That took a lot of humility to admit that. And that's all it takes is some humility. So that's why I say, how do you think you're going to walk in the house? Proud or humble? Which one do you guys think? You think you're going to walk into God's house telling him all about how good you are? Or how good he is? What do you think? Look what I've done, Abba. And you guys think it's not like that. But yet you read that Yahusha said that that's what they're going to do. Look what I did. That means I'm good, see? I did this in your name. I did that in your name. I did this in your name. I did that in your name. I did that. At no point did they ever say what he did for them. You notice that? You did this for me, and you did that for me. Because that's what I'd be saying to Abba if he was like, oh, no, you can't get in here, grandson. I'd be like, no, hold on, nah. You done did this. You done delivered me from that. You done saved me from this. You have made a way when there was no way for me. You have dried my tears, and you've done all that just to leave me high and dry? I don't believe that for 1 second. You showed me your love for me so many times just to leave me at the end and say, psych. I don't believe that. I believe you showed me that so I would have more faith and more belief and more surety and more boldness on that day of judgment like I got right now. No fear about it whatsoever in my heart. Abba is my witness. How can you talk? Can you talk like that? Unafraid of Abba's judgment because now you know it. Now you know it's about the inner world. And now you're meek in there. And you're not just going to just do what you think is right every time somebody do something you don't like. Yeah, look at that nigga. He don't know shit about God. Look at him. Sitting back pointing out outward things about people that you could never discern the truth of a person by doing that. That's why the deceiver puts on sheep's clothing. If you were wise, you'd understand, don't judge outward appearance, you dumbass, because that's how they deceive. So then why would you judge that? You're going to get deceived if you judge that way. But yet men do it every day. They look at what you do to say if you're righteous or not. They don't look at what's in your heart and the intent of it. You may do something and do it wrong. So that means that you ain't shit. Okay, well, I'll give you an example. I've used this example before. I'll do it again. You're a man and you have a little 2-year-old daughter. Well, no. Let's make her older because she's going to be doing something that requires her to be a little bit older. Let's say you have a 10-year-old daughter. And you and your wife are in the bed sleep. And you smell some pancakes cooking in the kitchen. You roll, you touch, you're like, oh yeah, my wife's right here. Okay, I ain't my wife. Well, come to find out, your little girl was in there cooking breakfast for you and your wife, and she burned all the pancakes. Well, when she presented the plate to you, they were all burnt up and every damn thing and thick as hell. You were like, shit, I'm cutting through this pancake like a steak. Shit. So now, are you going to cuss out your little girl because she burnt the pancakes? Are you going to make her feel like shit because she burned them? Why? Because of the intent of her heart. Isn't that right? Look how easy it is to slice and dice through a nigga. So then when you grow up and see your brother burn some pancakes, or in other words, do something wrong, or when you see your sister burn some pancakes, are you just going to cuss them out? Or are you going to search the intent of their heart before you decide your judgment concerning them? Because I tell you right now, you're a cruel ass parent if you're going to cuss your child out about burning those pancakes. You're cruel as fuck. You're not kind. You're not patient. You're not long suffering. So then you're not godlike. You're not loving, then you're not godlike. Somebody was to ask me, what quality makes you godlike? I would say love. If you don't have love, then you're not anything. So now ask everybody else, what quality makes you godlike? Start them rambling off shit to try to make themselves sound wise in front of you. They'll start giving you a long list of things instead of just saying love. Love is wise. Love is knowledge. Love is meekness. Love is humility. Anything you throw at me, love is patient. Anything you tell me is good qualities, I'm just going to say love's going to swallow it up and make it a part of itself. That's all it's going to do. It's going to consume everything. So when it says God's going to submit everything under his foot and make everything subject to him, what do you think it means? Love. It's an all-consuming fire, and nothing can stop it from going forth and consuming. That's what it's going to do until there's nothing left but ash. Like I keep saying it, I guess guys just in their pride thinking, no, it won't. It ain't going to grind me to powder. Fine. It grounded me to powder. So I'm just telling you my experience. But you go right on ahead thinking that you won't. Because I tell you, niggas is sick with a drug, and it's called ain't going to happen to me. So take you another dose of that shit if you think it's going to save you. Don't you think, which one do you think it is? Pride or humility to say something like this? When somebody gives you advice and says, hey, bro, you know, it's inevitable that you're going to have to suffer. And you're going to go through this and go through that. And the guy says, it ain't going to happen to me. Do you think that's humble or do you think that's proud? It's so simple and easy, isn't it? Not even hard. It's not even hard. So why make it hard? Because people aren't patient. They want to feel glorified now. That's why they risk it all to stand in front of people and have people say they're glorified. They risk their whole salvation. They sell their whole soul. Like Abba said, what profit is it? That's the same question I'm asking y'all. What profit is it if a man gained the whole world? But there's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Or as he said, but lose his own soul. Soul is psychological. So psychological means where you think and feel. You will have weeping and gnashing in where you think and feel now. Regret going to make you do that shit. You're not even talking to anybody. Regret is the silent killer in your ass. You're sitting there just like this. And that stupid ass, why didn't I just, nigga starts coming in the room. Why didn't I just, 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 why didn't, and he's just going to sing that song and sing that song and sing that song until you blow your damn head off. So you're going to feel. You're going to seek death and not find it. So do you understand why I said this? See what I mean? Click. You're going to seek death and not find it. How bad is a nigga's life where he's looking to die? Yeah, it's because you didn't do what Yahusha said. That's the only reason you want to kill yourself out of the life that you've been given. It's because you don't do what Yahusha said, which is to cast your cares upon him. Your shortcomings, every damn thing that you struggle with, you give it to him. You confess it. You see, he's already made you guys a promise. And before I end this message, I'll tell you what it is. That he's going to restore what the palmer worm didn't ate up and the cankerworm has eaten and the locust has eaten up. He's going to restore that. So you who are wise among the little flock today, this is what I would advise you to do. I would advise you to speak restoration to the cankerworm, the palmer worm, and the locust in your life. Because once you have wisdom, now you can see the palmer worm. Where is he? He's in you. You'll see the cankerworm. He's in you. You'll see the locust that eats all the green herb out of your life. You'll see him. And then you'll say, I need to deal with that guy. Restore what you took from me, just like Abba promised you. So speak restoration to those things in your life that have stolen from you and stand on your 2 feet and make war now. Don't blame anybody. Well, the reason why I'm such an alcoholic is because life, man, it's just so... Okay, are you ready to die? If you say yes, then drink until you're dead. Give the strong drink to the man who's ready to die. Go ahead. But if you want to live, then you got to put that bottle down, bro. Because it's eating from your life. You saying it is. I'm not. See what I'm trying to say to you? I'm just here to keep you focused on that thing. It's you. So deal with you. Stop blaming other people for the wicked shit you do. The wicked shit you do need to be uprooted out of you or you won't make it in. So then don't blame when the wicked thing come out of you. It was provoked to come out of you to show you it's in there. So then deal with it. Oh, Father, forgive me my trespass. As I forgive those who trespass against me. I'm not going to be sitting up here being all prideful and judgmental, acting like other people did shit, but I haven't. You didn't did the same shit. That's why Yahushua said, you without sin, throw the first stone. None of them niggas could throw. So you think you can throw? You think you can throw? You know good and damn well you can't. So then why throw? Why pick up a stone? Is that humble or prideful? What would you say? To pick up a stone even though you're guilty? The niggas that should be stoned are trying to stone somebody. Look at the stupidity, like I've told you. And they who do the stoning think they do God a service. Look at this. We're doing this in behalf of God. We're cutting out wickedness out of the earth. Well, then how come you weren't cut out when you did the wickedness? Because no man saw me when I did it. So that makes you righteous and clean. As far as I'm concerned, it do. All right, but Abba saw. So go along in your pride thinking that you're not going to have to pay the piper when the piper come back around, because you're going to have to pay that nigga. What you going to do? He said you're going to pay to the last farthing. So speak restoration to them problems in your life, little flock, and take responsibility. Okay. When I was young, let's just say as an example, when I was young, I got caught up in, let's say, just drugs, some kind of drug, and you got caught up and it stole some years of your life. See the palmer worm? See the palmer worm? Or the locust? So now you tell that palmer worm, hey, you're going to have to get up out my garden. Abba made me a tender keeper of the garden. How am I supposed to have a garden if I'm letting locusts come up in there and eat up all my thoughts? Eat up all the right thoughts that I got up in there. All the fruitful thoughts that I could have that would be bearing wonderful seed in my life. I can't because of the palmer worm eating it all up. Talk about he giving me some comfort. Some southern comfort. So now you speak to that thing. You restore what you've taken from me. My youth. Restore my youth to me. Restore my vitality and life force energy back unto me, for it belonged to me. By divine right, it was given to me by grace. And now I call it forth. Everything that was taken from me, I call it back. That's all you got to do. Restore. Because Abba said so. And that's what's been taken from you, little flock. You. You're the one that's been taken. So don't look at anybody else. Don't look at Abba. Don't look at this. Don't look at it. I am does all these things. You wish you know his name, then you'd know when you read the Bible who you was reading about. I kill, I make alive, I give. What did Job say? I am gives and I am taketh away. Blessed be the name. See what I mean about knowing his name? In other words, Job is saying, I can't say I am in distress because of this circumstance that this man that they say I am is. I am is the Father. So his name is blessed regardless of what Job is going through. Because Job went through a lot, didn't he? But he didn't curse God's name. Even though his wife said, curse his name. See? She didn't say something else. Curse God's name and die. See what would happen if you curse his name? If you take his name in vain, you'll die. Well, I'm living. I don't care how it looks. That's righteousness. That's faith. That's the lesson. Not blaming. Not looking for some outlet as to why this is taking place. It's taking place because God wrote it in the story. It is his will. So I got to drink the cup, just like Yahushua had to drink his, even though it caused him distress and he didn't want to. And he said, let this cup pass for me. Yeah, let this cup pass for me. But nevertheless, your will be done, not my own. See, humble submission to the will of the Father, like I said on my last video. If you ain't in that state of being, then you're not fit for the kingdom. Don't you know that? You think you're fit to enter into a kingdom that of a king you're not even going to be completely submitted to? You really believe that? So yes, like I said, hiding before men doesn't do any good. And so that's why I don't. I don't put on. I don't try to make you guys think anything good of me because that's not profitable. It's a waste. It's vain, which is my message. So I don't do vain shit. Just do things that matter. And so since that's all I'm concerned with, then I am not concerned with the things that don't matter. You all are, because you all are in the world. But not the little flock, not the ones who are called out of the world. You see how the words are going? Yahusha said, you have not chosen me, but I have chosen you out of the world. That's what he said. That you may bear much fruit. See what I mean about how you couldn't bear any fruit because the locust and the palmer worm and everything was eating your shit up? It's because you were self-condemning yourself. That's why the palmer worm. That's the palmer worm. It's self-loathing. It's self-hatred. It's doubt. It's fear. That's what the palmer worm is. That's what that bottle is showing you. That's what that needle you shoving in is showing you, what you feel about yourself. You don't think you're valuable. So stop focusing on the needle and think about what's in the inside. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Stop putting that needle in your veins and stop putting that wicked thought into your mind, because as a man think, so is he. So you guys tell me, what does that man need that's addicted? Does he need a radical change of mind and a baptism of the mind? Or does he need to change what he physically is doing and putting himself around and what he's desiring after? He can't change anything about who he is or what he is until he changes his mind and his thought. I already gave you the precept. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if he think he's not lovable in his heart, which means privately in the deep crevices in the core, his core thoughts concerning himself are self-loathing thoughts, then what does that mean? That's why he does the things that show he hates himself. But y'all only want to deal with the symptom, which is the thing he's doing you to show you he hates himself. Y'all only want to deal with that. That's the way y'all deal with every problem. Nigga get a cough. Let's go get some cough medicine. Instead of dealing with why the cough has begun, you deal with the damn cough. I know. So all people know how to do is judge outward appearance. I know. They don't judge what's going on that's producing it. Isn't there something going on inside the body that's making yourself cough? Isn't there something going on inside the body? And if you deal with that thing that's going on inside the body, then the cough will go away. But see how if you don't deal with what's going on inside the body, but you deal with the cough, you're just suppressing the symptoms. You're just making the outward, you're killing the outside of the cup, but the inside is full of dead men's bone. You see how that principle goes across the board with everything that you do in life? You see it? Well, I hope you see it, because I can see it, and that's why I'm telling it to you. It's no profit to boast in front of men, because God said there won't be any boasting. So then why even try to even focus on doing it in your life? It's stupid. It's a waste of time. Why try to appear righteous before men? Why try to appear pristine and clean like I've told you? Why try to act like you're holier than thou, or you're wise, or you're smart, or you're anything? A genius, or intelligent, or anything? Why does it matter? People trying to be all polished. Oh, wow, look at that woman. Look how she can articulate her words so well. She's so well spoken. We must listen to her. She must be very highly educated. No, maybe she's just very highly handled. Maybe she's very highly trained and prepared to do exactly what she's doing by some other interest. That's the way you guys are about everything. They will take somebody off the street who doesn't even have any talent, but they have a certain outward appearance that will appeal to people. So they take that person and they train them to be a singer or an actress or something that they can put and make some money. And then they put that person in front of you and you go, wow, they're awesome. I'm such a fan of them. And meanwhile, there's somebody who really has all the talent in the world that could blow that person out of the damn water, but they don't look good at all. They don't have any outward appearance that will appeal to people. So that person goes under the radar, not even a star or any damn thing. See how judgment does? People like to have the one who looks like the one instead of the one who actually is. And that's just the truth, isn't it? He fits the bill. He looks like that star guy that we need, but he's not. Okay, it doesn't matter. As long as people think he is, that's all we need to keep making more money. So you want to use your brother as chattel to make money off of him, is what you're saying. Sounds like Cain. You don't need to use your brother to get any gain when you rely on I am, which is a better sacrifice. But when you rely on your brother for your bread, then guess what happens to you? You become like Cain. Can y'all understand that bit of wisdom I just gave you? You think the grade you get is contingent upon doing better than your brother. So you're looking at his work the whole damn time you're working. You're looking at his work to match yours up to him. That's what human beings are doing. Not realizing that's cannibalizing your brother. It's murdering your brother. It's hating your brother. It's envying. It's coveting. It's everything God says not to do. But if you were focused on I am, you wouldn't even be looking at your brother. You'd be looking at your own work. And you'd be diligent about doing that. You see? But when you're blaming and you're focusing on other people, then you can't focus on doing this restoration work that I've told you all that you should do. Simply speak, restore to the things that have robbed you, and you know what they are. So be not ashamed of them anymore, because everybody got some. I don't give a damn who you are. Everybody got some stains up on their clothes. You see it? So then, you might as well accept your stains. Like I said in the other video, accept it. You might as well accept that you got them and go ahead on out into the world with them on your clothes. And when people say, look at that stain on your shirt. Ah, you're dirty. You just simply look at their stain on their shirt and just shake your head. Y'all hear this message today, little flock? So y'all be easy, little flock. Y'all be blessed. Silawam Estrella.